Hello, beautiful listeners, and welcome back to Green Earth Essentials. I'm your host, Michelle Jackson, and this podcast is all about holistic wellness, plant based nutrition, sustainability, and natural ways to support the body from the inside out. Here we talk about how the choices we make every day, what we eat, how we care for ourselves, and how we live in relationship with the natural world shape our health over time. In today's episode, we're focusing on something many people care deeply about, but are often given the wrong solutions for: hair and nails. We're going to talk about how to improve hair thickness, growth, and shine, and how to strengthen your nails naturally by nourishing the body rather than battling it with products, treatments, and quick fixes. Toward the end of the episode, I'll also be sharing the exact beauty from within smoothie I personally drink every morning, and why this combination of ingredients supports hair and nail health so effectively. This is an episode worth staying with because hair and nails are more than cosmetic. They're reflections of what's happening internally. And once you understand the signals they're sending, you can begin nourishing yourself in a way that supports long-term beauty, resilience, and overall wellness. When we talk about hair and nails, it helps to understand what they actually are in the body's priority system. From a biological perspective, hair and nails are considered non-essential tissues. They're important to us aesthetically, but they're not required for survival. Your body doesn't need glossy hair or strong nails to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, or your brain functioning. Because of that, when the body is under stress, whether from chronic inflammation, emotional stress, nutrient deficiencies, hormonal shifts, or not eating enough, it reallocates its resources, energy, minerals, and amino acids are sent to the organs and systems that keep you alive. Hair growth slows, nails become brittle or weak, shine fades, not because your body is broken, but because it's being strategic. This is where the story shifts. Thinning hair, dull strands, or peeling nails aren't personal failures. They're not signs that you're doing something wrong or that you haven't found the right product yet. They're messages. They're feedback from your body saying, I'm prioritizing survival right now. And this is why the beauty industry's messaging can be so misleading. We're taught that beauty starts at the surface with the right shampoo, the perfect serum, or the newest supplement. Those things can play a supportive role, but they're not the foundation. Hair and nails don't originate in a bottle. They're built from the inside, using the raw materials your body has available after its most critical needs are met. Once you understand that, the focus shifts away from fixing and fighting and toward nourishing and supporting. And that change alone can be transformative. Once the body feels safe enough to invest in hair and nails, the next question becomes, does it actually have the building materials it needs? This is where minerals come in, the quiet builders that rarely get attention, but do an enormous amount of work behind the scenes. Hair and nails rely on a wide range of minerals, each playing a specific role. Silica supports strength and elasticity, helping hair bend instead of snap. Plant-based sources include oats, millet, brown rice, cucumber, and horsetail tea. Zinc is involved in tissue repair and growth and can be found in pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, lentils, chickpeas, and whole grains. Iron helps deliver oxygen to the hair follicle, and plant sources include black sesame seeds, molasses, lentils, beans, tofu, spinach, and other dark leafy greens. Copper supports connective tissue and natural pigmentation and is present in foods like cacao, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, cashews, and mushrooms. Magnesium plays a role in protein synthesis and stress regulation and is abundant in leafy greens, seeds, legumes, cacao, and whole grains. Selenium helps protect cells from oxidative damage and supports healthy growth cycles and can be found in foods like sunflower seeds, whole grains, mushrooms, and small amounts of Brazil nuts. What's important to understand is that none of these minerals work alone. They operate as a system, and the body draws from that system based on availability and demand. This is also what makes mineral depletion so easy to miss. Someone can be eating enough calories and still fall short. Chronic stress burns through minerals at a faster rate. Hormonal shifts related to cycles, perimenopause, thyroid changes, or long-term stress can alter how minerals are absorbed and used. Even well-intentioned plant-based diets can fall short if foods are highly processed or grown in mineral-depleted soil. This is why long-term support matters more than quick fixes. Hair and nails don't respond well to extremes or short bursts of supplementation. They respond to steady mineral-rich nourishment over time. Seeds, legumes, whole grains, leafy greens, sea vegetables, cacao, and thoughtfully prepared plant foods provide minerals in forms the body recognizes and knows how to work with. When minerals are replenished consistently, the body doesn't just grow stronger hair and nails, it relaxes. And when the body relaxes, it becomes far more willing to invest in beauty. When protein comes up in conversations about hair and nails, it's often framed as a numbers game. Eat more protein, add a shake, double down on supplements. But this isn't about protein panic. It's about protein balance and, more importantly, protein use. Hair and nails are made primarily of keratin, a structural protein built from specific amino acids. For your body to create keratin, it has to break dietary protein down efficiently, absorb those amino acids, and then assemble them where they're needed. That process depends heavily on digestion, adequate stomach acid, digestive enzymes, and a calm nervous system. All influence whether protein actually becomes building material or simply passes through underutilized. This is why someone can eat plenty of protein, sometimes far more than they need, and still experience brittle nails or hair shedding. If digestion is compromised by chronic stress, low stomach acid, inflammation, or gut imbalance, protein doesn't get fully broken down into usable amino acids. From the body's perspective, the supply still feels uncertain. Supporting protein balance starts with diversity, not extremes. Plant-based protein works best when it comes from a variety of sources rather than relying heavily on one food. Legumes like lentils, chickpeas, black beans, and mung beans provide a wide amino acid profile. Soy foods such as tofu, tempeh, and soy milk offer complete protein and are especially helpful for keratin building needs. Seeds, hemp, pumpkin, sunflower, and sesame contribute both protein and supportive minerals, while whole grains like quinoa, oats, and brown rice round out the amino acid spectrum. How foods are prepared also matters. Soaking, sprouting, fermenting, and thoroughly cooking beans and grains can improve digestibility and amino acid availability. Eating protein alongside healthy fats and warming foods can further support absorption, especially for people who tend to feel cold, bloated, or sluggish after meals. Digestion itself deserves attention. Slowing down while eating, chewing well, and avoiding meals in a rushed or stressed state helps activate digestive enzymes. Gentle supports like warming spices, regular meals, and adequate hydration create an internal environment where protein can actually be used. Even breathing more deeply before meals can shift the nervous system into a state that supports digestion rather than suppressing it. Finally, consistency matters more than perfection. When the body receives steady, reliable protein and feels supported rather than pressured, it begins to allocate resources more generously. Amino acids stop being treated as emergency supplies and start becoming building blocks again. In that environment, keratin production, and with it, stronger nails and healthier hair, becomes a natural outcome, not something that has to be forced. Hair that looks shiny and feels soft isn't just a surface phenomenon. It's a reflection of what's happening at the cellular level. Healthy fats play a central role here, especially plant-based fats that provide omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, and other fat-soluble nutrients the body needs to build flexible, resilient tissue. Omega-3s help keep cell membranes supple rather than rigid, which affects how hair bends, how it reflects light, and how well it retains moisture. Plant-based sources of omega-3s include flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts, and algae-derived oils. These fats don't just support hair, they also help calm inflammation and support circulation, both of which influence scalp health. Vitamin E works alongside these fats to protect cells from oxidative stress and support healthy blood flow, including to the scalp. You'll find vitamin E in foods like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, avocado, and cold-pressed plant oils. These nutrients influence the quality of sebum, the natural oil your scalp produces, which plays a major role in shine, softness, and overall comfort. Other fat-soluble nutrients, including compounds found in seeds, nuts, olives, and avocados, help the body use minerals more effectively and maintain flexible connective tissue. When these fats are consistently available, hair is more likely to bend instead of break, feel nourished instead of brittle, and maintain a natural sheen without heavy styling products. This is why dryness is often misunderstood. We're taught to blame heat tools, weather, or the wrong shampoo, but dry hair frequently begins with dry cells. If the body isn't receiving enough healthy fats or isn't absorbing them well, it conserves what it has for critical systems like the brain, hormones, and nervous system. Hair and scalp once again fall lower on the priority list. When you regularly include nourishing plant oils, seeds, nuts, and fat-rich whole foods, you're not just feeding your hair, you're improving the quality of the tissue it's made from. Shine becomes less about what you apply externally and more about what your body feels safe enough to create from within. Hair doesn't grow in isolation. Every strand depends on what's happening beneath the surface, and that makes scalp health and circulation far more important than most people realize. Blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicle, while the lymphatic system helps clear metabolic waste from the area. When circulation is sluggish, even a well-nourished body can struggle to support healthy growth. Circulation is also a signal. From the body's perspective, areas with consistent blood flow are areas worth maintaining. When the scalp is well supplied with oxygen and nutrients, the body interprets that as a place where investment makes sense. When circulation drops, due to chronic stress, tension, inflammation, or prolonged stillness, hair growth can quietly slow down, even if everything else seems fine. This is where simple, gentle practices become powerful. Scalp massage isn't about vanity or forcing growth, it's a way of improving blood flow, encouraging lymphatic movement, and sending a message of safety to the nervous system. Gentle stimulation, slow breathing, and moments of relaxation help shift the body out of survival mode, which in turn supports growth processes like hair regeneration. When these practices are approached as support rather than correction, they work with the body instead of against it. Healthy circulation doesn't demand intensity, it responds to consistency, calm, and care, and hair tends to follow that lead. One of the most overlooked influences on hair and nail health is stress. Not just occasional stress, but chronic, ongoing nervous system overload. When the body perceives constant demand or threat, it shifts into a survival focused state. In that state, growth processes slow down. Hair growth cycles can be interrupted, and nails may become thinner or more brittle, not because something is missing, but because the body is conserving energy. Hormones play a major role here. Stress hormones like cortisol influence how nutrients are absorbed and where they're used. Hormonal shifts related to cycles, perimenopause, thyroid function, or long term stress can all change the timing and quality of hair growth. This is why hair shedding or nail changes often show up months after a stressful period rather than during it. The body is responding to what it has already been through. Seen through this lens, hair loss and brittle nails aren't signs of failure or neglect. They're signs that the body has been working hard to protect you. It shows survival over aesthetics, which is exactly what it's designed to do. This is where self-compassion becomes part of the solution. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Gentle, repeatable nourishment sends a very different signal than restriction, panic, or overcorrection. When the body feels supported instead of pushed, it gradually shifts out of survival mode. That's when growth, strength, and resilience can return. One of the most important things to understand about hair and nail health is that change doesn't happen instantly. The body doesn't flip a switch and suddenly redirect resources to growth. It moves on a timeline. and that timeline reflects weeks or even months of internal conditions. Hair grows in cycles. What you see on your head today began forming long before you noticed it. That means the nourishment, stress levels, and hormonal signals from weeks ago are still playing out now. When someone starts supporting their body more consistently, visible hair changes often lag behind the internal improvements. This delay can be frustrating, but it's also a sign that the system is working exactly as designed. Nails tend to tell the story sooner because they grow more steadily. They're often the first place people notice change. Nails may become less brittle, stop peeling, or feel stronger before hair thickness or shine improves. That doesn't mean the hair isn't responding. It means it's still catching up. Sometimes there's even a temporary increase in shedding. This can happen when the body shifts out of a stress pattern and resets growth cycles. Old hairs are released to make room for new growth. It can feel alarming, but it's often part of a recalibration rather than a setback. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Hair and nails don't respond well to sudden overcorrection or short-term efforts. They respond to repeated signals of safety and nourishment. When you understand that timeline, it becomes easier to stay grounded, patient, and kind to yourself as your body rebuilds. Now, I want to share something personal with you, not as a miracle cure or a quick fix, but as a daily signal of nourishment. This is the Beauty from Within smoothie I drink every morning. I don't drink it expecting instant results. I drink it as a message to my body that resources are available and support is consistent. The base is soy milk, which provides gentle, plant-based protein. I add ground, toasted black sesame seeds, hemp seeds, and either pumpkin or sunflower seeds for minerals, healthy fats, and amino acids that support hair, nails, and overall tissue strength. A spoon of molasses brings in trace minerals, especially iron, in a form the body recognizes. Then come the warming spices: cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, nutmeg, and cardamom. These support circulation, digestion, and metabolic warmth, helping the body actually use what it's been given. I also add a teaspoon of raw cacao powder, which contributes magnesium and supports blood flow, while making the whole thing feel nourishing rather than medicinal. What matters most isn't the exact measurements or chasing perfection. It's the ritual. Drinking this consistently tells the body day after day that nourishment is steady and reliable. Over time, that sense of safety is what allows the body to invest in things like strong nails, healthy hair, and natural shine. This smoothie isn't about control, it's about care. As we close, I want to leave you with this core idea. Shiny hair and strong nails don't come from force, restriction, or constant fixing. They grow in environments where nourishment is steady, where the nervous system feels safe, and where balance is supported over time. When the body trusts that its needs are being met, beauty becomes a natural byproduct. If you'd like to go deeper into topics like this, you can follow me on Substack at substack.com/at Green Earth Essentials. The link is in the episode description. This is where I share extended reflections, full episode transcripts, and exclusive wellness content designed to support you beyond the podcast. I'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts. Until next time, this is Michelle Jackson signing off.